Hello and welcome to this presentation, where we will be looking at how you can view SNOMED CT through the SNOMED International browser. The SNOMED International browser can be found at browser.ihtstheotools.org. When you first access the browser, you will note that you are asked to accept a license for using the browser and the SNOMED CT content contained within. You are asked to do this as SNOMED CT is a licensed product, and the browser is there as a resource to view the content only. On the first page of the browser, you are given the option of which version of SNOMED CT you wish to view. You will see that there is a choice of international editions in either English or Spanish. You also have the option to view a number of national extensions. These will include some languages where translations are included to meet the national requirements. For the purpose of this presentation, we will select the International Edition. Once you have selected the edition you require, the browser will take you to the first page. Broadly speaking, this is divided into two distinct sections. The left-hand side provides access to all the content in SNOMED CT, either through a taxonomy view or through the search function. The right-hand side of the screen displays the concept details of the concept which has been selected on the left-hand side of the screen. The browser is provided with a powerful search function. Once you have typed in at least 3 characters into the search box, the browser will begin to retrieve all the concepts whose synonyms contain words starting with the text you've typed in. For example, DIA will return all terms which have words beginning with DIA. Almost 10,000 matches in this case. The more characters included in the search box, the more accurate and specific the retrieved concepts will be. So diabetes will return fewer results, just under 2,000 in this case. But many of these are synonyms which are associated with the same concept. That is why the Group by Concept option can be useful. If I select Group by Concept, I can now see that there are approximately 700 distinct concepts which include the term diabetes in at least one of their descriptions. As an example, the concept impaired glucose tolerance has a synonym of latent diabetes. Once you have retrieved your list of concepts from the search function, you can further refine your view by choosing to select specific concept types such as disorder, procedure, or one of the other hierarchies. The choices are selected by ticking the appropriate box. This type of filtering is known as filtering results by semantic tag. This function limits the search results to a specific type of concept. For example, using the diabetes example and selecting the semantic tag procedure will limit the results to only those procedures that include the term diabetes in a synonym. When a filter is applied, it is highlighted by a tick box as shown on the screen. It is possible to refine further through choosing additional semantic tag filters, but for clinical searching, this is rarely used. It is also possible to filter by language, module, and reference set, although for clinical searching, these tend to be used infrequently. You will also note that you have a series of additional options. The default setting provides for partial matching. For example, if you select DIA, the retrieved concepts will include any term where DIA appears at the start of a word. This can be changed to full match, which will only return items with a word that fully matches the search term. For example, to retrieve diabetes concepts, you would need to type in the full word diabetes. By default, only active concepts are returned. But you can also choose to search over inactive concepts as well, using the status option in the left-hand pane. Just a quick note regarding active and inactive concepts. All active concepts are those in the current release of SNOMED CT, which are intended for use in live systems. SNOMED CT is structured and managed in such a way that any concepts ever to appear in a release will remain in the data files forever. If these concepts are not intended for current use, they are marked inactive in the current release. This content should not be used for data entry going forward, but may still be valid for historical queries. Concepts may have been inactivated because their meaning has changed over time, they are no longer clinically valid, or they were found to be incorrect and have now been replaced. However, all inactive concepts are still included in every release to support longitudinal data analysis. The taxonomy view in the left-hand pane provides a hierarchical view of SNOMED CT. Each level can be expanded by clicking on the blue arrow on its left. In this example, I have expanded the clinical finding hierarchy and then the disease subhierarchy. If you continue to do this until you see a blue bar, this means that there are no further children of the concept. An example of that would be the concept obesity-associated disorder, which can be found in the disease subhierarchy. The default view of the taxonomy shows you all the top-level concepts, from body structure and clinical finding, all the way down to substance. Now let's focus on the right-hand pane. As previously mentioned, this provides details of the concept that has been selected in the left-hand pane. If we search for and select fracture of femur, then the summary tab on the right-hand side provides an overview of this concept. The concept itself appears in the blue box, while the box above shows the immediate parents of the concept, and the box below shows the immediate children of the concept. In the parent box, you can click on the arrowheads to move up the hierarchy, and in the same way you can select the arrowheads in the children box to move down the hierarchy. You will note in the right-hand pane that there are a series of tabs including the summary, details, diagram, expression, refset, members, and references tab. We will now explain the purpose of each of these tabs. The Details tab provides a summary of all the details about this concept. It includes the descriptions associated with the concept, including the fully specified name and synonyms. You will notice that the fully specified name and one of the synonyms is marked as preferred in each dialect. These dialect-specific preferences are recorded in each of the language reference sets in the international release. There is one for US English and one for GB English. The other synonyms are marked as acceptable. This tells you that they are available for use if required, for tasks such as searching for a concept. At the bottom of the tab are the details of the attributes and values associated with the concepts. In other words, the relationships which form the definition of a concept. In this example, fracture of femur has a finding site attribute with the value bone structure of femur. The Details tab also indicates whether the concept is defined or primitive. We'll explain what that means in just a few moments. All concepts in SNOMED CT are determined to be either defined or primitive. Defined concepts are those where its defining properties are sufficient for a computer to distinguish the concept from any other concept in SNOMED CT, because they fully represent the concept's meaning. Primitive concepts are those where its defining properties are not sufficient to fully represent the meaning of the concept, so a computer may not be able to distinguish the definition of this concept from another concept. So SNOMED CT aims to ensure that all concepts which can be fully modeled are modeled as defined. Please note that it's not possible to formally define every concept in SNOMED CT, either due to the nature of the concept itself or because SNOMED CT's concept model doesn't provide the attributes needed to capture every aspect of its clinical meaning. It is worthwhile reinforcing that for each concept, there will always be a fully specified name, or FSN. The FSN is always unique and is designed to be unambiguous. Each FSN includes a semantic tag, which is the words in brackets at the end of the term. The semantic tag specifies the hierarchy or subhierarchy that the concept belongs to. There will also be one or more synonyms available. Synonyms are additional terms that can be used to describe or search for the concept. Each concept must also have a preferred term in each language, dialect, or clinical context. The preferred term is the synonym that clinicians prefer to see displayed for that concept in an EHR system when the given dialect or clinical context is used. Unlike the fully specified name, a synonym or preferred term need not be unique in SNOMED CT. SNOMED CT uses a standard diagramming guideline to represent the definition for each concept graphically. These diagrams are displayed in the Diagram tab. For example, the diagram here shows the definition for fracture of femur. The concept fracture of femur appears in a purple box with a double-line border to show that it's a defined concept. Immediately below this are the concept's parents, in this case, fracture of lower limb and injury of thigh. The boxes below represent the attribute relationships for the concept. The yellow box represents the attribute or type of relationship, and the box to the right provides the value. So in this case, the two relationships are a finding site of bone structure of femur and an associated morphology of fracture. Note that the two attribute values appear in blue single-lined boxes. This means that they are primitive concepts. You may have noted that on the right side of the concept diagram, there were two options, stated or inferred. When SNOMED CT is authored, the author specifies the parent concepts, attributes, and attribute values. These values, specified by the author, are known as the stated view. However, the power of SNOMED CT lies in the formal logic behind each concept's definition. When a SNOMED CT release is created, the authored content is processed by a software tool called Description Logic Reasoner or Classifier. This tool identifies new relationships which can be inferred from all the stated relationships of the concept and its supertypes. Once these inferred relationships have been generated by a classifier, the resulting view is called the inferred view. When a clinical system uses SNOMED CT, it takes advantage of all these logical inferences by using the inferred view of SNOMED CT. Next, we have the Expression tab. In addition to using a single concept ID to represent a particular SNOMED CT concept, it is also possible to express the meaning of a clinical idea using a combination of concept identifiers used in the definition of that concept. Representing a clinical idea in this way is referred to as post-coordination. Post-coordinated expressions are specified using a formal language called SNOMED compositional grammar. Expressions must be written in a way that conforms to this language and also conforms to the rules of the SNOMED CT concept model. The next tab we'll look at is the Ref Sets tab. Reference sets are a standard way for maintaining and distributing subsets of SNOMED CT components. They can be used to represent subsets of concepts, descriptions, or relationships, and can also include additional information about each component. They can be used for a range of purposes, including creating ordered lists of components, associations between components, and maps between SNOMED concepts and other code systems, classifications, or knowledge resources. Reference sets can be defined locally and nationally. but there are also some available in the SNOMED International release. The RefSets tab allows you to see which international reference sets the selected concept belongs to. The Members tab only applies when we are looking at a concept which has been created to name and identify a reference set. In this case, I have searched for and selected the concept General Practice/Family Practice Reference Set. So when I click on the Members tab, I can see the concepts which make up the members of this reference set. Finally, there is the References tab. This tab provides information on where the selected concept is used as the value for a relationship in SNOMED CT. The relationships on this tab are grouped together based on the attribute type for which the concept is used as the value. In this example, the concept fracture of femur is used by 3 different attribute types, so you can see 3 groups of relationships. I hope you now have a better understanding of how you can use the SNOMED CT browser. You can find the browser to explore SNOMED CT content yourself at browser.ihtstotools.org. For more information on SNOMED CT's concept model, please visit the editorial guide at snomed.org/eg. And for information about SNOMED CT, you can always go to snomed.org. Many thanks for listening, and goodbye for now.